Another interesting thing the president said, he said people should not expect to hear from him for a while after January the 20th.
I have to be quiet for a while. And I don't mean politically, I mean internally. I have to still myself. You have to get back in tune with your center and process before you make a bunch of good decisions. Now, that doesn't mean that if a year from now or a year and a half from now or 2 years from now there is an issue of such moment, such import, that isn't just a debate about a particular tax bill or a particular policy, but goes to some foundational issues about our democracy that I might not weigh in. I'm still a citizen, and that carries with it duties and obligations.
Chris, obviously, as you know, the president has been grateful to George W. Bush for sort of not weighing in over the course of 8 years on what's happening and talking only privately with him. But he did say, I'll be quiet for a while, but as I see things come up, I'm going to have to take a little more activist role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's not going to go quietly. He is going to, I think, give a little bit of space to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's probably breathing if he's got any consciousness about the power of Barack Obama. He's probably breathing a sigh of relief. But maybe, as you point out, Hillary Clinton is as well, because that wasn't the first time he kind of took a little bit of a shot at her. I was thinking back to the White House after the election. I think it was just a week after the election. I think our crack team at Morning Joe has that audio or the video from Barack Obama back on, I think, November 14th. Let's take a look.
I believe that we have better ideas. But I also believe that good ideas don't matter if people don't hear them. And one of the issues that Democrats have to be clear on is that given population distribution across the country, we have to compete everywhere. We have to show up everywhere. We have to work at a grassroots level, something that's been a running thread in my career. I won Iowa not because the demographics dictated that I would win Iowa. It was because I spent 87 days going to every small town and fair and fish fry and VFW hall. And there were some counties where I might have lost, but maybe I lost by 20 points instead of 50 points.
And that was a message, Gene, that he repeated in that interview that came out the other day with David Axelrod, which is a pretty clear broadside against Hillary Clinton, which is that he said yesterday in this interview with Axelrod that you can't hold the ball and think you're winning the game and run out the clock. You've got to go out there and continue to fight, implying that Hillary Clinton didn't do that.
Well, I also heard criticism of the party and the way the party approached the, because that's not all on Hillary Clinton, that's on the party as well. I remember 8.5 years ago when he was in Iowa, and he did go to those small towns, and he did reach those audiences in that unique way of his. It was incredible. So maybe that's a lesson. I would be surprised if he did not get a phone call from George W. Bush, however, about those comments about how he might intervene, because President Bush has very strong feelings on that. He's very passionate on the subject of former presidents and how they should shut up and go away, go clear brush on their ranch or something like that. But stay out. He thinks it's destabilizing, and he believes his father was treated that way in his tenure, and he didn't like it.
But Gene, if the party itself screwed up in its approach to Hillary Clinton, doesn't the president bear a little bit of responsibility for that too? I mean, he put his finger for Hillary Clinton.
No, exactly, and look, there was a DNC director, but in fact the president, you're the head of your party if you're president. And another criticism of President Obama is, where's the farm team? Where are the up and comers that you brought along who were ready to step up? If not for the White House this time, then for those Senate seats, those governorships.
Yeah, and Rick, it's just a statement of fact that the Democratic Party nationally actually is worse off than when President Obama took office. If you look at state legislatures and governors' mansions, it's worse off than when President Obama came in.
Yeah, it's far worse off. You have lost nearly 100 state legislators, many governors, lost the Senate, lost the House, and it's not good. It's not been good for the Democratic Party. You know, he's right. You do have to win on the grassroots. And I know it irritates some of your viewers when I say this, but the Democratic Party right now is not a national party. It's a very regional party, and it's really centered in the cities, on the California coast, in New York, but principally in the urban areas. And they've got to figure out how to get their message to connect with Americans in between.
One more